Have you ever been just, walking down the street and you spot one of those couples that seems flawlessly happy? Like relationships that look way, way too perfect? It totally makes you pause. You see this effortless harmony, and maybe a tiny part of you, come on, admit it, wonders what's actually going on behind closed doors. We're all super fascinated by human connection, right? But sometimes that flawless exterior hides a reality that is far more complex and honestly, entirely manipulated.
So welcome to This Explainer. Today we're unpacking a truly astonishing cultural phenomenon that takes our natural human suspicion and turns it into a highly effective, totally wild industry. We're diving deep into the business of engineered heartbreak in Japan, step by step. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. The illusion of perfection.
Okay, let's dive into this. So, we're basically conditioned from day one to view these seemingly ideal partnerships as the ultimate goal. But absolute perfection? It often represents a massive vulnerability. It creates an illusion. And in Japan, this illusion isn't just some abstract philosophical concept for us to sit around and ponder. It's a literal facade that can be systematically and professionally dismantled by outside forces.
Moving on to Section 2, introducing the Walkerasea. Now, what's really mind-blowing about this concept is just the sheer transactional nature of the whole thing. The Walkerasea is an actual real-life service in Japan that gets paid to break couples up. Seriously, let that sink in for a second. We're not talking about some messy, accidental love triangle, and we are definitely not talking about couples therapy. No, this is the literal monetization of relationship destruction. People actively exchange their hard-earned money to hire a third party with one sole explicit objective, ending a romantic partnership. It's wild.
Section 3. The anatomy of sabotage.
So the crucial point we need to look at is how incredibly methodical this whole operation is. The playbook is just chilling. First, they enter the target's life, and not just by sending a random text. They physically or socially integrate themselves right into the person's world. Next, they build this genuine feeling, trust, and emotional rapport, but it's under entirely false pretenses. Once that trust is totally locked in, bam, they engineer conflict, literally out of thin air, to destabilize the couple. Finally, they destroy the relationship from the inside out. It's like a slow, calculated poisoning of the bond, all executed by a hired professional.
Which brings us to Section 4, the unseen threat. And this right here brilliantly illustrates the horrific disconnect at the very center of this service. Because think about the victim. To the target, they're just experiencing sudden relationship drama. They absolutely believe they're going through organic trouble, the kind of everyday friction any normal couple faces. But to the Walkerasea, every single argument, every tiny misunderstanding, every tear shed was planned from the very beginning. It is a completely manufactured reality just imposing itself on an unsuspecting victim.
This quote from our source material really drives the point home. The target doesn't even realize everything was planned from the beginning. I want you to emphasize that word in your mind, realize. I mean, imagine going through what is probably one of the most agonizing emotional experiences of your entire life, only to literally never know it was entirely staged. The target walks away fully thinking their relationship failed naturally, entirely unaware they were just the subject of a cold, calculated operation.
Finally, Section 5. The price of genuine love.
Let's move to see how this all builds into the truly profound philosophical question at the very heart of our source material. We've broken down the how, right? But now we've got to face the implications. If love can literally be destroyed with money, if you can just write a check to systematically dismantle a human connection using engineered drama and fake intimacy, what does that actually say about the bond in the first place?
It makes you ask, how many relationships were never truly genuine in the first place? Seriously, if an outside force can just be paid to successfully break a couple apart, was the foundation of that relationship ever really solid? If a bond can just be completely shattered by a manufactured infiltration, well, it challenges our very understanding of trust, commitment, and honestly, what makes love real. So next time you see one of those flawless couples walking down the street, you just might find yourself wondering,